The Bold and the Beautiful. May 27th, 2025 episode recap. May 27th, 2025 wasn't just another day in Los Angeles, it was a turning point. For Hope, Carter, Liam, Steffy, and everyone caught in the fallout of grief, love, and buried truths, this was a day when everything tilted and nobody walked away unchanged. Drama ignited at every corner. Decisions were made. Trust was tested. And for those who thought they'd seen it all on The Bold and the Beautiful, this episode proved there's always another twist. It began at the Forrester loft, where Carter Walton had taken the biggest risk of his romantic life. He placed everything, his heart, his loyalty, his belief in second chances on the table, right there in front of Hope Logan. He had the ring, the words, the intention. All he needed was her answer. But Carter knew it wasn't a sure thing. Hope had been through emotional hell lately. Her world had been shattered by the quiet revelation that Liam, her ex, her co-parent, the father of her daughter, was dying. Not soon. Not maybe. Definitely. And that knowledge had changed her. In the past, Hope might have hesitated. She might have run. But the weight of Liam's prognosis had rearranged her priorities. Life wasn't a long, winding journey anymore. It was a short race to meaning. And Carter, reliable, kind, and always there, offered that. Not passion. Not chaos. But maybe peace. Maybe stability. And for Hope, who was still reeling from the chaos Liam had dragged her through for years, that kind of peace felt more valuable than 1,000 declarations of love. So when Carter dropped to one knee, when he looked her in the eye and asked her to marry him, Hope said yes. The words hung in the air for only a second before Carter pulled her into an embrace, relief washing over him like a tide. For a man who had waited on the sidelines far too long, this was the moment he thought would never come. Hope was his, officially, finally. Or so he thought. Because while Hope was saying yes, her mind still flickered with the image of Liam lying in a hospital bed, fading. She wasn't just choosing Carter for love. She was choosing him for survival. For comfort. And that kind of choice never stays hidden for long. Meanwhile, across town at the Cliff House perched above the crashing waves, another moment was unfolding. Finn and Liam, once rivals in love, now sat side by side, not as enemies, but as men facing a brutal truth together. Liam had no time left to waste, and Finn knew it. The doctor in him understood the diagnosis. The husband and father in him felt the pain. Liam had asked for a meeting, not to settle old scores, but to make a request. He wanted Finn to be there. Not just for Steffy, but for their kids. For Kelly. For Beth. For Hope. Liam didn't want to leave behind a fractured family. He wanted to believe someone would step in and hold it all together when he was gone. And Finn, steady and sincere, gave him that promise. No drama. No hesitation. Just a nod and the quiet reassurance Liam needed. It was the kind of raw, honest moment this family rarely got. A sliver of grace in the middle of a storm. But back at Forrester Creations, peace was harder to find. Steffy's recent behavior had raised eyebrows, and no one was more confused than Ridge and Brooke. For years, Steffy and Hope had been locked in a cold war, professionally, personally, emotionally. But now, Steffy was singing Hope's praises, encouraging her romance with Carter, recommending her return to the company. It wasn't just odd, it was unsettling. Ridge watched his daughter closely as she spoke about Hope's potential. About her growth. About how she deserved happiness with Carter. Brooke, ever protective of Hope, appreciated the sentiment, but didn't trust the timing. Why now? Why the sudden shift in loyalty? What had changed? The answer, of course, was what they didn't know. Steffy knew about Liam. She had kept it quiet, respecting his wishes, but the knowledge had hit her hard. All the bitterness between her and Hope suddenly felt small, irrelevant. They were both mothers, both standing on the edge of losing someone who had shaped their worlds. There was no more room for rivalry, only empathy. So Steffi extended the olive branch. She encouraged Hope's engagement not just for the romance, but because she saw how fragile life was. If Hope found comfort in Carter, if Carter gave her some kind of shelter from the storm, Steffi wasn't going to stand in the way. Not this time. But Ridge and Brooke weren't convinced. To them, it felt like a mask, a performance. And without knowing about Liam's condition, they couldn't put the puzzle together. All they saw was Steffi being too supportive, too generous, and they started to worry there was a bigger game at play. But they were wrong. This wasn't strategy. This was humanity. As the episode moved toward its final act, the energy shifted again. Carter and Hope were now officially engaged, but not everyone was celebrating. There were whispers, doubts, a lingering sense that Hope had moved too fast, that Carter had proposed out of desperation, that neither of them had truly healed. But for now, they clung to each other, trying to believe that commitment could drown out grief. Elsewhere, Liam stood on the edge of the ocean with Finn, watching the sun sink lower in the sky. He was tired, worn down, but in Finn's eyes, he saw something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Not for himself, but for his children. And that was enough. Steffi, back at the office, stared at her reflection. She thought about all the things she'd said to Hope. About the apology, the support, the way the past suddenly felt so far away. And she wondered, had she really forgiven Hope? Or was she just trying to ease her own guilt? Either way, it didn't matter. The future was here. And it was already unraveling. Ridge and Brooke stepped out of the meeting room, still whispering about Steffi's strange behavior. But no matter how many theories they shared, they were missing the most important piece of the puzzle, the countdown clock ticking away inside Liam. The secret that was reshaping everyone's lives. The truth no one could stop. The episode closed with a montage: Hope and Carter holding hands, trying to find something solid in the storm, Liam walking slowly toward his car, looking back one last time at the life he'd built, Finn watching him go, silent and somber. Steffi alone in her office, eyes glossy with tears, and Ridge and Brooke watching her, still not understanding the weight she was carrying. One day, one episode, but everything changed. And on the bold and the beautiful, that's all it takes. The storm brewing over Los Angeles isn't in the sky. It's in the hearts of the Forresters, the Spencers, and anyone unlucky enough to be caught between a dying man's final days and a young woman whose obsession is spiraling toward violence. As the weekly preview for The Bold and the Beautiful made painfully clear, Liam Spencer is running out of time. Steffi Forrester is under threat, and Luna Nozawa is no longer a misunderstood outsider. She's becoming the danger nobody is prepared for. And while Sheila Carter once wore the crown of chaos in this town, even she may have finally met someone more dangerous than herself. Because Luna isn't just broken. She's planning something. And it's not just words this time. The week opens on an emotional gut punch. Liam Spencer, tired, worn, still hiding the gravity of his illness from most of the world, pulls his daughter, Kelly, into an embrace. The preview clip is haunting. This isn't a goodbye yet, but you can feel it in the way he holds her. In the way he looks over her shoulder like it might be the last time. Liam confesses to Finn that he doesn't know how to say goodbye to his daughters. There are no words, no speech. Just a growing awareness that soon he won't be there. Not for Kelly. Not for Beth. Not for Hope. Finn listens, jaw tight, doing his best to stay composed. He promised Liam that he would take care of the kids. That he'd step up. But promises like that are easier to make than to carry out, because everything is unraveling. Not just from Liam's terminal condition, but from the darkness creeping in through the cracks of family, legacy, and lies. While Liam is mourning the moments he'll never get, Steffy Forrester is staring down a new threat of her own. At Forrester Creations, during a tense conversation with her father Ridge and her former rival Hope Logan, Steffy draws a line in the sand. Her words aren't cautious. They're sharp. "She's a monster," Steffy says. "And we need to do everything in our power to keep her away from me and my family." She doesn't hesitate. She doesn't hedge. She's talking about Luna. And it's clear that Steffy isn't just suspicious anymore, she's terrified. Because Luna isn't just another misfit trying to find a place in the Forrester world. She's methodical, calculated, obsessed, and most of all, she's getting desperate. Steffy knows that kind of behavior. She's seen it before. In Sheila. But this time, it's worse. Because Luna doesn't have the excuse of age or madness. Luna knows exactly what she's doing. Elsewhere in the episode, Luna sits across from Sheila Carter in a dimly lit room, cloaked in tension. This isn't a casual meeting. This is Luna testing the boundaries of an alliance. She tells Sheila plainly Steffy will never accept her. Steffy will never see her as part of the family. And that's why Luna, in her own chilling voice, proposes the unthinkable: eliminate the threat. Eliminate Steffy. The words linger. For a moment, it seems like Sheila might agree. After all, this was once her way. Elimination. Violence. Control. But the Sheila of today is different. Or at least, she's trying to be. Her marriage to Deacon Sharp has settled her. She's built something like peace, like family. And most of all, she knows that doing anything to hurt Steffy would destroy Finn, the only person whose love ever softened her. So she draws the line. Not gently, not diplomatically, but like someone who has clawed her way out of hell and refuses to go back. "Don't ever mention Finn's wife again," Sheila growls, her voice low and deadly. It isn't just a warning. It's a wall. One Luna didn't expect. One she doesn't know how to break through, yet. Luna backs off, at least for now. She smiles, nods, plays the part of the obedient daughter figure. But underneath that smile is a woman who doesn't take no for an answer. Sheila senses it. Deacon later confirms it. Luna's not just a threat, she's unstable. And unlike Sheila, she doesn't have anyone to tether her. No child to hold her back. No husband to center her. Luna is alone. And when she looks at Finn, she doesn't see a brother. She sees a prize. A role. A future that only makes sense if Steffy isn't in it. The danger becomes clearer as the week unfolds. Luna starts showing up at the Cliff House uninvited. She's watching Steffy from a distance, timing her movements, creating tension with subtle, seemingly innocent remarks. She's planting seeds. And Steffy knows it. She tries to warn Ridge. She tells Hope. But without proof, without a visible threat, no one is ready to believe that Luna is capable of more than manipulation. But Steffy knows the feeling. The chill in her spine. The sense of being watched. The weight of being marked. And she refuses to ignore it. Liam, meanwhile, is losing strength. He's spending every hour he can with the kids, hiding his pain behind laughter, trying to be the dad they'll remember. Finn watches closely. He sees Liam fade a little more each day. And his respect for Liam grows. Whatever their history, Finn sees the love Liam has for his daughters. And he feels the burden settling heavier on his own shoulders. Sheila continues her private battle. She thought motherhood, even grandmotherhood, would heal her. But Luna has brought back old instincts. Old rage. And for once, she's not the one behind the chaos. She's trying to stop it. She meets again with Luna, tries to reason with her. She tells Luna to leave town, to start over, to let go of Finn. But Luna refuses. Her fixation on Steffi only grows, and her resolve hardens. The week ends with a storm rolling in over the Forrester estate. Steffi arrives home to find the lights flickering, the door cracked, a cold wind blowing through the house. She calls out, but no one answers. Her heart races. And somewhere, just out of frame, Luna is watching, waiting. The final scene cuts to Sheila, pacing, panicked. She knows what's coming. She knows Luna didn't listen. And for the first time in years, Sheila isn't afraid of what she might do. She's afraid of what she might have to do. Because if it comes down to saving Steffi or protecting Luna, there's no longer a question. The monster isn't Sheila. Not anymore. It's Luna. And she's just getting started.